Oh no. All right. So I'm not going to talk about any music. Bear, bear. So I have, let me just see here. All right. Okay. Okay. Oh, what a cute dog. Oh, that's a cute dog. Ours. This is me playing guitar. Yeah, this is Hi, everybody. The dog. What's going on now? Is there still a dog? Hi, everybody. How are you? Welcome to In the Neighborhood. This is the Dave and Dad edition. It's nice of you to join us for this beautiful Tuesday on a warm day. Johnny and I were out walking today and played some basketball. We've gone for a walk. I would say of the, how many days of COVID have we been in? Let's say 60. I don't even know. 70? We've gone for a walk about 65 of those days every morning. And I think in all of that time, I've probably had more conversations with my son, John, than I did with my dad in my entire time living with him. So that's good. Or it has been good. And then Tess and John and I went for a bike ride yesterday, and Tess, we all had to bring books because my assignment for their school was they had to do 20 minutes of reading time. So we got on our bikes, brought our books. Tess brought a pillow, and John brought a blanket. We went to a park. Tess climbed a tree, sat in a tree, and read Archie books. I'm pretty sure that's what they meant when they said 20 minutes of reading. And John started in a tree, then wandered over to the woods, then came and sat beside me, then lay on the blanket, then went back in the tree, then came back and sat beside me. Then he lay down beside me, and we read a bit. I would say a good 2 minutes of the 20 were spent reading. So it was a very literary day yesterday. But I thought, well, since I didn't talk a whole lot to my dad, maybe I should give him a call now. Now I'm going to be honest with everybody. I sent him a few messages this morning saying, "Hey, looking forward to talking again." And yesterday he was all into it, but as of now, he hasn't he hasn't responded. So I don't know. You tell me if that's gonna work out or what that means, or if they're. I just don't know. So I'll call him, and then if we get him, great. And if we don't, well, then I have other things to discuss with you. Okay. I'm calling the mobile in case he's out for a walk. Maybe he is. Now, Dad, I would say we're going to get him on FaceTime, but Dad would not have a clue what that even means, let alone have the equipment to do it. So I'm not going to bother with that. Let's see if we get Dad. That guy. 2 ringy dingies. Now we're at 3. Mom and Dad have a flip phone between the two of them that they're very proud that they can text. That's as high.
Your call has been forwarded to a voicemail service that has not been initialized by the customer you are calling. The customer you are calling is not available at this time. When you reach...
Oh, that makes me laugh. Should I phone home? Let's call them at home. See if there's anyone there. I'll give that one a try. And we'll see how that goes. I'm going to ask my brother Rob a question while this is ringing. Rob, how old are you now? 48. Rob had a... Oh, Dad.
Yeah.
This is Dave Kelly calling.
Yes, hello there.
How are you?
I'm fine. I thought you'd be calling me on the cell.
I did, but it said there was a voice message that has not been set up. So should I try it again? Do you want to go out for a walk while we talk?
No, I haven't been home, so I've been home for half an hour.
How was your walk today?
Yeah. It's raining a little bit. Mom's out now walking her.
Oh, good.
Her walk.
It's nice here. John and I were out playing basketball this morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was I was listening to the radio. They said it's like 35 or something in Ottawa and Toronto. Humidity like 100% or something.
Do you miss that?
That and something, eh? Yeah. Especially, I remember when we came out here first, I couldn't believe how it cooled down at night. Eh? There, 4 o'clock in the afternoon and 4 o'clock in the morning is about 10 degrees difference. Something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not here.
Yeah.
I was just thinking this was the weekend that Anne and Joan's birthdays, or I should say Rob and Anne's birthday.
Yes.
This weekend.
40 and 48, Mom said.
Isn't that something? Do you ever think that Rob, just so folks listening know that Rob and Rob is the youngest boy. Do you ever think your youngest boy would be 48 years old?
I don't think I ever thought of it very much, but Anne now was the age I was when we came out here.
When the big move across the country.
Yeah. So that's kind of surprising, And then, but when you talk to Anne now, it's a little tricky because when you don't talk to them very often, you think that they're still young kids, or young teenagers or whatever. But when I went over there to work, I couldn't believe how Anne and Joan, but Anne, because I've worked mostly with her, how she was a woman,
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. You don't notice that as a father, and you wouldn't know. You'll notice that when your kids are older too. They're different. But
that's something. What?
Yeah.
And I was also thinking this. So this weekend, Rob's birthday, Anne's birthday, and a big anniversary of when I graduated high school. Remember that?
Right.
Because Anne, you and I went to my grad, and Mom didn't come because she was in the hospital having Anne.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Wow. On the day of.
That's probably the first grad I was ever at.
Well, no, you were at Ken's.
Yeah.
Ken
right.
sang and played the guitar.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's right too. I forgot about that. I mean, I remembered about it, but wow. But I don't remember it being at yours. It's funny. I remember it being at Ken's, him singing, but somehow I don't. But whatever.
I gave a speech. I don't know if you remember that. I was in charge of the funny speech. So there was like the dear student speech, and then I got up and sort of told stories of being. So I didn't even get to sit with you because I had to go and sit up at the head table. Yeah.
I remember you talked something about a banana, eating a banana.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember that now since you mentioned it. It's funny.
Yeah. Good job. The joke was, I said that how I used to just hate it when Mom would make lunch. Sometimes when Mom would make lunch for us, I hated when she put a banana in my lunch because they were always a little bit soft, and they're just it's impossible to eat a squishy banana in any classy way amongst a bunch of friends in high school. So
yeah. There.
Now, speaking of grads, I was thinking this is the time of year for me where people come to me and say, or normally not so much this year, although we have a big grad thing we're going to do for kids where they can do a drive-through grad down in Calgary.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
So yeah, it's going to be something just so the kids have something to do. These young people who are looking at having no grad, we're going to have a grad. So we're going to use the Stampede Grounds parking lot, and they're going to drive over and stay in their cars for the most part, but they get to walk across a little stage and graduate. So
you're talking about kids, what age, Dave?
Like grade 12, so high school. Yeah.
Oh, is that right, Dave?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
And Gary, friend of ours who you know, who you've met anyway, his son is graduating and he runs an event company. So he said, we got to do something. So that sort of snowballed from him wanting to do something for his son to a bunch of a couple of 100 or 1,000 high school students here in Calgary are going to be part of the DriveThru Grad.
Well, isn't that neat?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Wow. I mean, I just think it's neat. I never experienced graduating from high school, but I'm sure it's neat.
Dad, you had grade 6. That's as far as anybody really needs.
Yeah, I figured if you got grade 6, there's have gone any further. Oh man. Oh, man.
Now, when you talk to, and I know you're not around as many high school students as you would have been in the day, but when you think of young people like starting at work or coming on the job when you were there, what do you tell, if I were to steal, when I'm at these grads, steal like what my dad's advice to young people, what is it that you found yourself telling young people about success?
Um, I'm not sure. The one thing that are, with young people coming on the job, I did have patience with them, where a lot of guys that I worked with didn't have patience with them because I figured they were always confused, and because I remember myself being confused, it's all so new. Uh, I think I would. The only thing I probably would ever tell them is that if you work hard, everything will work out. That's that's the only thing, and it doesn't matter what kind of work you're in. It doesn't matter anything. The last guy laid off from any kind of a job that ever was known, the last guy laid off is the hardest worker, and that's if I was to tell a kid anything, that would be it. Because sometimes it, I remember myself too, even, but you're kind of smart if you can get out of work. Let the other guy do the work. But the fact is, if you meet it head on and just do it, get right after it, that's if you have that habit, it will last you for life, and that's what keeps you, off welfare because you have to work.
And
there's no easy way, And you see guys, I've worked with guys, you'd be wheeling in sand, and if they can miss a turn with a wheelbarrow, they think they had accomplished. I would notice that because that might be the thing I would have tried to do when I was younger. Maybe I would think I did, and so I would notice that, and I would quietly tell them, that's not going to work. It's not going to work around me, but it's not going to work for society. Period. You got to get it. Don't miss your turn.
And did you find, can people learn that, or are people hard workers and not hard workers, and that's the end of it?
No, you can learn. No, I'm sure. I don't think when I started out that I was a hard worker. I'm not. I think that, after I got working a while, yes, I was. But mostly, why I worked hard, I think, was because I was afraid of getting fired.
Right.
So that was my motivation. But looking at the other side of it then, where you have a young guy that is anxious to work, he's a precious jewel because, that's just the best.
Now, something that I'm aware of with you is a line that I don't think I've heard you say, that I've heard a lot of other people say, is kids these days. And do you think young people are different now than they were 20 years ago, than they were 50 years ago?
No. Kids are kids. Life is life. Kids are kids. They're different, of course, because when I started, they wouldn't be walking down the street with their telephone, punching, whatever, texting and all this. But it's just there's other things kids did, I suppose. And no, I don't think there's any different. People are people, and life is life. You just have to, yeah. And I think if you can give a kid an opportunity to realize that happiness actually comes from being busy and working, because you can get depressed. Gord often says some of his patients are depressed because really sitting there watching TV 8, 10, 12 hours a day, it's enough to depress anybody, So,
right.
Yeah. And that time they were bored, probably doing something else, So, no, I don't think it was any different. And I don't think people worked any harder back then than they do now. That's a myth. People think, they had to plow by feet, they had to have the horses and plow, and they had to walk behind the plow. Really and truly, the horses are retired. You have to feed them and water them, and you work shorter days. No, people don't work any harder now than they do now.
No. Except for me, I spend a fair amount of time sitting around, so I don't know how hard I'm
Yeah,
working.
well, yeah, you got that from the mother side. Actually, that's the reverse, but whatever.
Yes, Mom puts in a good day's work.
But
Uh,
yeah, I think it's very good. And the person who works understands work, and you understand life better. I think you accomplish things and whatever. Anyway.
Rob, your other son, the much less good-looking one, had a question for you. Rob, what's your question you'd like to throw to the audience, to my dad here?
I didn't hear Rob so very good.
He was just saying how, given that, like you say, sitting around watching TV is not a way to feel good about yourself, but in these times where you're stuck in your house, how do people keep from being bored?
Yeah. Well, actually, right now, we're sitting around. I'm sitting around quite a little bit now because you can't. Not only that I can't go out, but I was since I hurt my shoulder. I think I have aged in the last 2 years, a year and a half to hurt my shoulder. I've aged maybe 10 years because I can't do what I could do. And so you go out in the garage and you try to do a little bit of work, but you have to reach up with your hand and you can't get it over
Yeah.
and but yeah, it's tricky. People can, yeah. I think you have to keep more than physically. You have to keep your mind busy.
Right.
Yeah, and so I think that's what I try to do, Rob, is try to keep my mind trying to learn a new song or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'm working on the lumberjack song. There's so many words there. It's pretty quick. So it takes a. But that's what I do now. Other people, of course, they don't play, but they play golf and all these different things. And now you can do that stuff. Yeah, I'm thinking about our neighbors.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not sure if I answered this
Oh
question.
yeah.
Yeah.
Rob is nodding, so I think he's very happy with the response. What's before we let you go? What's the day? What are you and Mom doing today?
Well, I would this morning. First of all, I made a hanger. We bought some flowers yesterday for Mom wants. We have last year Father's Day. She gave me a hummingbird feeder, and we never got any hummingbirds. But they say this kind of a flower and that kind. So we went out to Hole's greenhouse yesterday. We got flowers, 2 pots, and so I made little kind of baskets for them to hang out on, and so that was my plan. That was my yesterday afternoon. That's what I did on this morning, and now it's pretty raining outside, so I'm not sure what I'll do the rest of the day.
Well,
yeah.
Well, I'll maybe learn some hummingbird calls that you can use.
Yeah. I'm not sure how to do that. Remember, I read a piece in the Reader's Digest about hummingbirds. They said a hummingbird, they weigh about the same as a nickel. And if they had a vocabulary, every second word would be a cuss word. Yeah, they're really very protective and they're vicious little birds.
Is that right?
Yeah, you wouldn't think that.
And you heard it here.
Another thing, I think the hummingbirds are the only bird that can fly backwards.
Look at that.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know very much about them. But one time I was down in Ottawa. I think it was for Uncle Pat's funeral. Maybe when Uncle Joe was sick, and I stayed at Carl's place.
Yeah.
And my brothers, and I woke up in the morning and birds. I couldn't believe how many. It was just wild and birds that were singing in the spring. And so I came back, and I remember with you guys, we sat down and looked at a bird book someplace. This is on 77. When everybody was home, I remember, Ken, and you look at the birds, there's just so many more birds down east than there is here.
There is.
Yeah, very much so.
I think they like the humidity.
Yeah, and it's warmer and whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe more vegetation kind of too, but whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like cardinals and birds like that, you don't see them here.
Right.
At least I never have. But I remember being at Carl's place and sitting, and there was a cardinal sitting out in the tree, and it was just brilliant red. And I've never seen them here. And canaries and birds like that, But yeah, but I never seen a magpie down there. But magpies in the same family as blue jays, and there's a lot of blue jays down there. So
see, Dad, there you do know a lot about birds. I don't care what you say.
Well, I know a couple of things, and I don't. Yeah, just maybe a couple of things, and I remember them. But
that's good.
Well, that's one way to impress the sons, I guess.
Well, look I'm going to let you go, but I'll call you later on today and say hello. How about that?
Thanks, Steve. We'll talk to you later. Bye, Rob.
He said, see you later, Dad.
Okay.
Bye. Thanks so much, Dad. Bye. That's my dad. What a guy, huh? What a guy. And speaking of grads and our grads, that's so funny. I remember, and I didn't want to say when Dad was on the phone, but Mom was a bit more protective, religious, strict, controlling, whatever you want to say. And when we found out that the due date for Anne was my grad, I was so excited because that meant Mom wouldn't be there, so I'd have a little bit more leeway for my grad. Speaking of grads, Robert, I need to find this. Gary Davies sent this, and where the heck? Gary Davies wants us to know that the grad stuff is up. If you go to their website, which is DriveThru Grad 2020, is that it, right? Yeah. DriveThru Grad 2020. Look at the comments. It's happening, and there's a lot of kids interested, or young people, I should say. And if you want to be part of it, make sure you get yourself registered, because we're going to be going by schools, and we're going to get anybody who wants their own grad done in Calgary. So it's happening. DriveThru, THRU, grad2020.com. Right here in town. How fun is that? We're going to, tomorrow, we're back. We're going to talk more about tourism in our amazing city. And we are going to be talking a bit about, I don't know, Jim Button's going to be somewhere. He's also got his, Jim Button's getting his results from the doctor tomorrow. So if you're interested in Jim's scans and how they're going, that's happening tomorrow. We're going to be talking more about that. Mandy Stobo is going to be with us. Russ Broom is going to be with us. It's going to be fun. Thank you so much for spending a Tuesday with us. I hope you're doing well. And like my dad said, let's just try to keep busy and keep working and keep our minds going, and we will all get through this together. Have a great day, everyone. See ya.